dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here. Yo.
What's up out there in podcast video land of them all? Mike's back with us, guys. Say hey to Mike, everybody.
Are you saying hey to me, or am I saying hey to them?
We're both adored by all our listeners. So
yeah. Well, hey everybody.
So it's been an eventful week. We talked about Mania last time, which was I believe the podcast was on the end of last week, just about a week ago. And then since then, what we always talked about it, and it was always years prior when before TKO took over. We call it WrestleMania spring cleaning, because right after Mania, what happens? They start releasing people. And apparently last weekend going into this week, they released, if I'm not mistaken, Mike, they've released 20 plus talents. A lot of developmental, of course. What we call developmental, but it's now NXT. I don't even know if they even call it developmental anymore. And then you got
still 24.
24 talents total. And then you're talking about the main roster too. Yeah. So, but with all them cuts, Mike, if I'm not mistaken, because I can't remember all the names, but there was not any personnel like road agents or anything like that were cut.
No. That's what I heard.
Right. So no coaches at the performance center, nothing like that from what I've read. Now, there's a couple that stick out there and fans were making comments over, a few of them, right? Now, before we start talking about them few, you'd probably know a little bit more about it than me, the ones that they're upset over, right? But there's Chase, which I know him as one of the Bravado brothers. And, one of our guests from the past, Yellow Man, talked about the Bravados. He was actually one of the ones released from down here in Orlando out of NXT. Being a former friend of his, I don't know if I say former friend, but a former colleague, this new colleague, I hope we're still friends if I ever see him again. Good guy, good kid. Him and his brother both were very, very, very good talents, but we've had this conversation before. Anybody comes out of the Mid-Atlantic area, especially the Carolina area, are very talented individuals, talking about back to the Omega days and all that. He was one of the ones in the new Omega as well, and I met him at Evolve and FIP down here when I was working with that group. But anyway, long story short, he got released, and I know he'll survive if he makes another move in this business. But if he decides not to, I hope he makes it well in his ventures in life, because a release like that is it's very hard. I've been through several, and they're very rough. And sometimes the first one's always the roughest, WCW, but it went out of business. It really wasn't a release. They were going out of business, but it was a release. So when WCW went out of business, that was the biggest one for me. And then the second one would be probably developmental here at FCW, just for the mere fact, Mike, not that I said I was enjoying my time there so much, being put back in developmental with all these younger kids, but I thought it was my shot and my way back to actually be on the main roster for WWF. So that was a hard hit for me. So long story short, again, and of course I got released to TNA twice, but long story short, it's not fun to have, and these guys are going through some rough times probably, and it's never good to have a job loss, regardless of what you do in life. But when it's something of that nature, it hurts hard. So my hat's off, my heart's out there to every single one of them, because I know how you friggin' feel. I've had it done several times, like I said. So the names that came up, I don't think Chase made that list, but that of the angry fans. Give me a name. Who's on that list?
I mean, it's a couple. You got the White Six. They was just on TV not too long ago.
Yep.
Honestly, feuding with Solo and his group, the MFT. Um, that one was probably. I mean, you can see it coming. Probably, it feels like, hey, we're doing releases. It's maybe like okay, they're not really doing like they're not getting pushed like they should. Uh, but when you just had like championship matches and stuff, it's kind of surprising. Uh, and then you got the Motor City Machine Guns.
Mhm.
Oh man, I hated that one. Uh, like they went to WWE, they could have stayed in TNA, but then they kind of branched out. They could have went to AEW, but they chose WWE, which, like I always said, they got the best tag teams there. They don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
They really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you put a legendary tag team in WWE right now, and they're probably going to flop.
Yeah.
Honestly, like they
Yeah.
just TNA put out like no matter what, they always got a home at TNA and stuff. So no matter what, they're going to wrestle somewhere again. But it's
Now,
kind of rumored that they're probably going to go to AEW though.
okay. I could see that. They'd have some good matches with the Bucks because their styles would be good together.
Well, they already had a match on AEW a couple years ago.
Did they?
Yeah,
Well, they worked in TNA back in the day. I was the Young Bucks Dark match here in Orlando, Universal, when they worked in Machine Guns, and I got to do that, and that was for the way the business has changed to today's standards, and back then even they fit the tag teams fit in very well with the way the pro wrestling business went. You know that. No matter what era any of us like better, it has changed on the national scene, and that's just the way it is. Because everything, and I hate using this word because it reminds you of the WWE Evolve promotion, but everything has to evolve, right? But what I was going to ask though was about the machine guns. Now, do you think that them going to AEW is better for their career this late in their career because they've been around a while now, or just trying to go back to TNA where they're homegrown and everybody will see them as homegrown talent, and could get over probably pretty well quickly there. And to be honest with you, let's just be honest, AEW is like I hate to put, I know the wrestling product is different than WWE, but it's like a WWE light compared to a TNA product, right?
yeah.
So I think they may get lost in the shuffle in TNA with so much talent they got. They got a lot of guys and girls on the roster already, you know?
You talk about they're going to get lost in AEW.
Yeah.
You said TNA, so that's how I was making.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was saying that.
That's what I was thinking. You said, which I could see that too. It depends on what they want to do. Do they want to be like, hey, our career is good enough, we don't need to prove nothing else? If they say that, then they're going back to TNA and everything.
Yep.
But if they feel like they got something to prove, especially after this release, they could be like, hey, let's go out there. I know WWE's got like the best tag team, so let's make AEW tag team division better.
Yeah.
Because they could do it, and they know how to book tag team wrestling in AEW. I will say that they do.
Right.
They do a good job. Now they don't do it good like all the time, but They do a whole lot better than WWE does.
Yeah.
Now, if they want to help grow that, but then like have good matches with, like you said, the Young Bucks. If they want to have matches with Edge and Christian, I mean, that's the only place that they can do it now. Edge and Christian's not going to go to TNA anymore, I don't think.
No.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't. Christian, maybe, because he's got ties with it. Edge, it's way too late in his career, I think, to really make a jump like that.
Well, I'm sure they're getting taken
mean,
care of pretty well by Tony Khan from everything I've
understood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tony loves stuff like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's big on tag team wrestling, too, like the old school tag team stuff. So that's why I think it's booked a little bit better there. I mean, there's so many good tag teams in AEW, too, that, I mean, to prove yourself that you're still the best out there. Because right now they're still one of the best tag teams, even though they can't show it. I mean, why would you put? Huh?
TNA's got the Hardys. That's another good matchup they could do.
But they already did that before, didn't they?
Maybe I can't remember everything they've done, but
like, don't get wrong. Like, would you rather have a match with the Hardys that I'm pretty sure they already did, but I mean, the Hardys is getting up there in age. They're not as quick as they used to be. They're still quick, but they don't move around like they used to. You know, or would you rather go and prove yourself with younger tag teams that can be really good in the business and everything, and kind of set that bar for them and help grow? Like, if you already did the match with the Hardys, wouldn't you want to go to another place and do one with Edge and Christian?
I mean, I don't know.
Like,
I mean, maybe, but Edge and Christian are up there in age too. If we're talking about ages.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to have a match, would you like to do one again or do something new?
When I look at that, and people's asked me that before in the past too, about, well, if you could go back to another company now at the age you're at, right, and have another run or whatever, in my position as an official, and I've always said, well, my mind and my heart are in two different places, right? Because my heart, I want to go somewhere where they'll let me be me as an official, not a robotic type situation. And, everybody knows what I'm getting at when I say that, because when you go to the WWE, everything changes. At least it was that way back in the day when it came to officials, because they didn't want the officials to do certain little things that you could get by with in the WCW or ECW, so to speak, right, back in the day. They called it, it was a couple things. They called it Carney, I guess it was. Memphis Carney or something. Because I'll tell you a prime example of what I'm getting at, Mike. I was down in, Nashville, Tennessee, back in 2007. Yeah, March of 2007. I went up there and worked some shows for Bert, and they had some WWE officials in there. They watched my work. They said everything was good, and the one at the particular time, which I'm not friends with him, and he wasn't a dick about it. He just said that some of my stuff was Memphis Carney stuff, and it was Mike Bucci, if you know who that is. He did the remember the health guru guy, was it Simon something?
Simon Dean?
He rode the machine.
Yeah. And then, one episode of Raw, he Maven hit him in the back and threw his protein shake on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he said that, and afterwards, Bert's like, so I think you did well because Bert liked my work, right? I'm like, yeah. I said, but he kind of told me that I worked a Southern wrestling style with my stuff, and I'm like, maybe not. So fast forward 2007, right? Later that year, I come and do the same stuff here in Florida in front of Kern and Pritchard, and they love me. So you know what I'm saying? It's just you got to get the right person to like your style. But anyway, if I had a choice, back to your question, which one would you choose if you were in their position? Um, One, I'd probably go where the most money was right now, and two, I'd go. If I had another choice, I guess I'd go where I think I could put the most work in uh, that would benefit me and what I can give. And at this rate in my life on the national scene, um, none of them have a heavy schedule. So it can't be like, well, I'd really go to this one because the schedule's better, right? They all have light schedules now. There's no house shows. There's no nothing. Um, Honestly, I would, being that they're out of WWE, if you had the two to choose from, TNA and AEW, I would pick AEW just for the mere fact, number one, I haven't been there, and I could say I've worked for every promotion in the last 40 years that meant something, and that would be true. So I'd pick them just for my own reasoning. But it comes down to bottom line, you know, they're these kids are probably in their early 40s now at least, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm late 40s. So yeah, is that funny? So I'm figuring they're gonna have to pick what's best for them. You know, they think's best for their career at this late stage. And I don't know what it is either, but I see your point that the new matchup that they never had would be Edge and Christian. It'd be kind of cool if they got that. But then again, you know, I
Like
don't know.
if I was them, and you wanted to like prove something, at least to yourself, they gotta go to AEW, and only because what else is there to do in TNA that they haven't done?
Mm-hmm.
They've been tag team champions. They've both been X Division champions, and they've both been world heavyweight champion now. Like what else can you prove? They faced everybody that's there.
Right.
Uh, I mean, I don't know, but then it'd be cool to see them face like Edge and Christian, but like I know this is gonna get whatever, but I don't I don't see them as like a top 10 tag team like ever,
Mm-hmm.
and only because they wasn't really around that long as a tag team.
Yeah.
You know, they was only together for what 2 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a good run when they did it, but I mean, you can go be a tag team for 2 or 3 years and have matches like they did. You take the bumps, I'll just take the glory. Um, but if we did the same exact thing, like, are we considered one of the best tag teams out there? Probably
Right.
not. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, to me, they're good together, but I just don't see them as top 10. But how everybody seems like they are and everything, then that'd be a really good matchup.
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of tag teams, this day in history, 45 years ago, Mike, do you know what happened in Richmond, Virginia, of all places? Under the Mid Atlantic banner, you had the Andersons, Ole and Gene, defeating the Masked Superstar and Paul Jones for the tag team titles. That's some history right there, man. And that was some old school tag team wrestling. Speaking of old school tag team wrestling, that was some good tag team wrestling. So let me ask you this, Mike, since we're on tag teams.
Okay.
From the last 25 years, okay? Out of the tag teams still around from 25 years ago, and out of all the new ones today, who is the best tag team today? Who should have that honor?
In this moment of time,
Yeah.
the Good Brothers.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hit you up on one. Give me your reasoning.
Look, when you can win championship gold everywhere you go,
Mhm.
that sets the bar pretty high. Okay.
Okay.
But then over WrestleMania weekend, they had I think it was so many different places doing things down there. During WrestleMania weekend, they wrestled like 10 times
Hmm.
just over the weekend. I mean, people wants to see them,
Yeah.
and they're drawing money. But now, if I can't pick them, do they have to be wrestling right now?
Um. No. This is in the
Or
last 25 years out of every tag team. But you can pick them.
of course, I want to say the Good Brothers.
Okay. Well, who's your
I mean,
second team?
but I mean, no matter what, I have to pick the Steiners.
In the last 25 years?
Yeah, I mean, they did stuff up in TNA. Was they slow? Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, it was still really good stuff.
Okay. 1990s,
Yeah.
I would have said they owned that decade. 1990s, there was no better tag team than the Steiner Brothers.
And then if you go into like the 2000s, I mean, oh man, like
what about America's Most Wanted or Beer Money? I know you're fans of them.
I like both of them. I'll
Yep.
probably have to pick honestly championship wise that made more of an impact. I would say it was probably Beer Money.
Okay.
But with America's Most Wanted, if it wasn't for them and that style, yes, James Storm was in both and everything. But if it wasn't for that and that style that they had and stuff, it might have never been a Beer Money.
Right.
Like they was like the foundation for uh TNA's tag team division. But then you got to throw in AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels in
Yeah.
TNA. Now, if you want like a cruiserweight tag team, they was really good. You know, so I mean, the list can really go on and on. Uh, no matter which decade it was, the New Age Outlaws, they was always good, no matter which decade they was in.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
then you had, but then you had the Guerreros, Eddie and Chavo.
Yeah.
But just like Edge and Christian, they was only really paired up together for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing about tag teams that's in WWE. So it's hard to really pick one from WWE and stuff because they never put a focus on it that much. I want to say about 2000, 2005-ish and up. So if you wasn't already a tag team to start with, outside coming in, you didn't stay a tag team long in WWE.
Yeah.
And then they start pairing random people together, like Goldust and Booker T. Like, what was that? Like, like so then you try to think outside the box, like who was like good outside of WWE, and then really at that time it was only really like TNA, you know,
Yeah.
and they did have good tag teams back then, like the British Invasion, they was good, but the same thing with them, they was really only together for I think like 2 years,
Yeah.
and everything, really on TV. So I mean, I really, if you don't find one that can also get released and go to different companies like all around the world, then
Hmm.
it's not really a tag team.
Well,
No.
so two tag teams come to mind in the
They
last
better be good.
last 25 years. Okay. And there's one of them still going strong today. It's the Hardy Boys. But I may be partial to them because we went through Omega together as well. A little bit partial. But to see these two guys going, and I know how old they are. We're all around the same age. To see them still go and the whole tag team gold and a big company such as TNA now, they had the NXT titles recently. These guys, definitely Hall of Fame worthy. Definitely Hall of Fame worthy. So they're one of my favorite teams in the last 25 years. Secondly, would be America's Most Wanted. I think they helped shape the tag team division in TNA to where it got to. And there's been no other team, in my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm not saying it's set in stone from anybody's opinion, but in my opinion, I think they're the best tag team ever in TNA history. And you had some good ones. You really did. You had Machine Guns come through there, and they're really good. You had Beer Money when James and Chris broke up, and Chris actually left the company. And then you had the British Invasion. You had Team 3D was there, for God's sakes. And Team 3D would probably be the third team in the last 25 years.
Hey, what about Shark Boy and Curry, man?
Yeah, not really. Sorry. More of a comedy act, bro. Bro. Let me tell you.
They got to be in at least the top 10 for sure.
No. Hey, listen. So also in history, this happened in 2011. It took place in Tampa, Florida, at Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Now listen to this. These tag team matches that happened this night. You tell me these ain't slobber knockers. The Big Show and Kane defeated the Core. I don't even remember who the Core was. And Michael Cole and Jack Swagger beat Jerry Lawler and that's a slobber knocker, Jim Ross of all people, right? Man, that just doesn't sound good on paper. I mean, the last one. I don't know about the other one because I don't even know who was the Core, and it's spelled Corre. Who were they?
Yeah. So you remember the Nexus?
Who?
The Nexus?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Michael Tarver was in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when somehow Punk guy controlled the Nexus and he changed it to the new Nexus and kicked Wade Barrett out, they moved to SmackDown, but Vince wanted almost like to redo the Nexus thing again, but with the same, like the main people. So they had Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater, and Big Z.
Okay.
And that was the core and everything. But I mean, if you talk about tag teams, like I hate to say it, but Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater for their short period of time, they was pretty good in WWE.
Bro, he's got kids.
Hey, he's got kids. But what I'm saying is they was pretty good as a tag team, but that's another example. They was only together for I think those maybe 4 years, maybe because with the Nexus and then with the core and everything. I think it was probably about 4 years, and that was it.
Yeah.
Because WWE was doing some stupid stuff with tag teams. Like they was putting like John Cena and Shawn Michaels together right before the WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
And then you had Batista and John Cena together before they had their WWE Championship match. Like they're just putting random people together. and it only lasted for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So that's why I say now they do have really good tag teams, like one of the best tag team divisions out there, but they don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
But like you said with uh, TNA, I do like you said, the British Invasion. Uh, I mean, you gotta think they also had. I know it's like a faction, but the main event Mafia, like, depends on like who you have paired up with. Like they was good, but you're getting into that age where it's like it wasn't fun anymore for them. You
Yeah.
know, like uh, but like you said, America's Most Wanted. They was really good. They was more like a power tag team. Beer Money is more like balance. It had a little bit of like James Storm doing a little bit like the high flying type thing sometimes, and
Yeah.
then they both had power and stuff. So that was more like a balance, you know. So
So, not to interrupt you, but I looked up who the core that day was. Wade Barrett and Ezekiel Jackson.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I worked with both of them in FCW developmental here. So I got more stuff for you, Mike, and it's a lot of tag team stuff. So since we're on tag teams, right? 2005 on this day, the Hurricane and Rosie won the World Tag Team Championship in Tag Team Turmoil at Backlash, which Backlash is here on May 9th in Tampa, of course, everyone. But anyway, they outlasted teams including La Resistance, everybody remembers them, Tajiri and William Regal, and the Heartthrobs. I remember the Heartthrobs very little, not very much. I don't know why. I don't even know who the hell they were now. I have to go look that up. And another thing we're looking at here, 1986 of all years, Hogan and the Junkyard Dog teamed up to defeat Terry and Hoss Funk, which was Dory Funk Jr., everybody else would know him as, at Saturday night's main event taping. And then also at that taping in 86, the British Bulldogs defeated the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov 2-1 in a best of three falls match to retain their WWF Tag Team Championship. That's a lot of good stuff right there, because that's good tag teams there, man. It was Sheik and Volkov was a good heel tag team in the 80s for WWF, and the British Bulldogs, they're a phenomenal tag team. If we go back in time, they would be probably one of my top five because they were just so freaking good. And of course, the makeshift match of Dog and Hogan being together against the Funks was just, Hogan wasn't a tag team wrestler, and neither was Dog, but they were so over, Dog came out of the reason he went to WWF is because he was so over in Mid-South with Bill Watts era. They thought he could recreate him up there, but, Dog was big, but he never was the same as he was down in the Mississippi, Louisiana, and Oklahoma, and all down there for Watts. But we all know how big Hogan was. So if you were on the card with Hogan, just on the card with Hogan back in them days, guys were excited because their paydays were up, because the arenas were full. And that's a known fact. A lot of the big guys will tell you that. They were happy about the paydays because you knew you was on the card with Hogan, you was on the A team. If you was on another show with another headlining, you may not have been as happy because your payday wasn't as high. And of course, we all want the money when you're in this business, but I would just say be happy you had a spot, because it's limited spots. I mean, today it seems like there's a lot more than what they used to had 30, 40 years ago, but in one area. But WWF's got so many people employed with all the different brands and the roster that you don't even see on TV. There's guys down at the developmental center that you don't even see. You ain't counting for them. But anyway, but we can go on and on about tag teams all day, bro, because that's one of my favorite things about pro wrestling was tag team wrestling. Because we can go back and talk about the early 80s with Steamboat and Youngblood against Slaughter and Kernodle, the Russians against Kernodle and I think he was teaming up with brought Slaughter back in for a while, and Magnum got involved, and then you know, Dusty and actually Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez were NWA Tag Team Champions at 85. They were Dusty was so over you could put him in a tag team, and he didn't have to be the main event guy on the main event, right? And then of course the Rock and Roll the Midnight and yada yada yada. We can go on for days. The Road Warriors were always over, and then of course Demolition just went in the Hall of Fame. That's a tag team we could bring up. But so many greats. We could go on for probably hours on end. If we try to dissect and break down each and different era of our business, we could probably pick a good 10 tag teams from every decade. Like 10 tag teams from the 80s. We could pick 10 tag teams from the 90s. You get what I'm saying, and on and on and on. But you're right. WWF has always had great tag teams, but it was never at the forefront like it would be for a NWA Jim Crockett Promotions type thing. It never was at the forefront. But they were there. I mean, we know it. We saw them, you know.
Yeah, like WWE when they had the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
And they was tag team champions. Like this is when they had Animal and Hawk, a known tag team, but then they lost to Kane and Rob Van Dam in like 3 minutes and everything. I mean, why? They're a tag team, and you're gonna put two people together to be a legendary tag team like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Did you one more I want to bring up? There's two more tag teams I can bring up, matches that happened on this day on May 1st. In 2007, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins made their WWE debuts as the Major Brothers on SmackDown. And in 2005, and I do not remember this because I probably didn't watch the pay-per-view, Backlash. That's what the one's called here this year, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So in 2005, Backlash, Hogan and Michaels. That's Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels, people. Yes, I am reading this right. Joined forces at Backlash to defeat Muhammad Hassan and Davari. I remember them doing the feud, but I don't remember this match. So I probably just didn't watch it.
I know they did this match kind of set up for Michaels and Hogan's match at SummerSlam.
Yep.
But this match I don't really remember. But it is one more tag team that I don't even know how we forgot. When you said in the last 25 years, Jesse and Festus, biscuits and gravy, man. How in the world did we forget that?
I just want. It ain't the question of how we forgot it; it's how you forgot it.
No, I remember, but just like WWE, they don't keep them together that long.
Yeah.
If they kept them together, who knows how many tag team championship reigns they would have had.
Yeah.
They probably would have been bigger than the Dudleys, the Hardys, the Steiners.
Well, let me throw some tag team scenarios out here. Okay. The Rock and Roll Express or Young Bucks in their prime, both in their prime.
The Rock and Roll Express or the Young Bucks. I grew up more on the Young Bucks. Okay.
Yeah.
But if we're going actually like tag team and everything, it has to be the Rock and Roll Express.
Okay. I'm gonna keep this going and see if it changes. Rock and Roll Express, Rock and Roll Express in their prime, or the Hardy Boys.
Rock and Roll Express.
Okay. Hold on. Rock and Roll Express. And the Machine Guns.
So that's kind of harder because it's two different companies.
Okay.
But it is. But we can go with Rock and Roll Express.
See, they'll keep winning for you. Let me throw another one out here. I'm trying to think who they hadn't worked. Even in their era, we can bring up a tag team they hadn't worked. I'm trying to see if you'll pick them. Pick somebody different. Okay, here's one. The Rock and Roll Express or America's Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted.
Okay. Okay.
I will go with that only because Rock and Roll Express is like really good and stuff, and everything. But America's Most Wanted is pretty much like you said, the foundation for TNA tag team. You know, they really was, and they so.
Now this one, I'm gonna see where you go. America's Most Wanted. Now this is everybody on their prime, right? America's Most Wanted and Steiner Brothers.
Steiner.
Let's see. In their prime, Steiner Brothers or the Road Warriors?
Steiners. But back to America's Most Wanted. The bad thing is,
okay,
they was really good, but I don't think they really hit their prime when they was a tag team.
Okay.
In their defense, James Storm hit his prime with Beer Bunny.
Okay.
Chris Harris was really good and everything, but I think they would have stayed together and stayed a tag team as long as they did, and he didn't go to WWE for that weird period of time that we don't really talk about because that kind of ruined his career, in my opinion. I think they would have been probably really close to the Stylers. I think it would have been closer than what it is.
Okay. Let me throw out another tag team here. Steiner Brothers. I'm trying to think of somebody newer. Oh man, I get stumped on the newer teams. Steiner Brothers or FTR?
Steiner.
Okay. Steiner Brothers, going back a little bit. Steiner Brothers of the Hart Foundation.
Steiner.
Okay. Steiner Brothers or Demolition?
Steiner.
Okay. I'm going to do one more. Huh?
It's going to be hard to beat the Steiners, honestly.
Okay. This is everybody in their prime, too. Not years later if they worked each other. Steiner Brothers in their prime against the Dudleys when they were super over.
Steiners.
Okay.
Like, it really is. Now, if it's regular tag team, though, right? Like, it ain't no gimmick matches, right? It's all straight up tag team.
Straight up tag team wrestling, bro.
Yeah, Steiners all the way on.
Okay. I have a feeling that we're going to be Steiner Brother all night long if I keep going. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Because they're probably Jesus Christ, I hate to say this, bro. They might be the best tag team of every decade combined.
Now, I think if they would have stayed more tag team, I can see why they kind of broke up to WCW and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if they would have stayed together, man, can you just imagine how many championship rings they would have had? Just a short period of time when they was in TNA, and they just say they went against the Dudleys and stuff. Then that was Steiners all the way right there. Like, yeah, they was both slow in TNA, but you could still see like the great tag team that they was. Like, I definitely say they're better than Harlem Heat. Hate to say it, but they probably have to beat Jesse and Festus.
And the Good Brothers, right?
Well, you watch your mouth on that one.
Watch your
Now,
mouth.
if you would have gave me that, I probably would have gave the edge to the Good Brothers.
Okay.
But then that goes back to like the decades and stuff like that. Tag team is way different than this back then, you know.
Yeah.
Just say, can you see the Steiners being a tag team right now in WWE in their prime, it would not be the same whatsoever.
Well,
So it
well,
wouldn't. Now, if they would have been a tag team right now in their prime, say in New Japan or something, now they would be really good.
well. Here's the thing, though.
But right,
You got to
yeah,
think about, Mike. If the Steiner Brothers were the way they were in the 1990, right, to now, I don't think the wrestling business would be worried about the Young Bucks working most of their machine guns or the Young Bucks working whoever. Nobody would even care. They'd be like, them guys are good. So
it, dep-
I think the
it
landscape of the
depends.
business would be changed.
It depends on what company you're in.
I just
Honestly,
don't feel.
because I don't think if they was in WWE right now in their prime, they would be a tag team.
Well, here's
They
my
would split them up and they would both be individual stars.
okay. Well, here's my problem with this. If you had more guys on top today that are like the Steiner brothers, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we'd be watching half of what we see today if we had guys like that in their prime. But then again, you are right. They probably will never use guys like that the same way as that era did. You are right. And that's a sad thing. But I also want to look at it like if we had more people like that in our industry today, would we be looking at, and even if I get heat for this, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks of my opinions, but I really think if we had people like the Steiner brothers on top, people like Kurt Angle still on top, and their prime, like guys like that, guys like even a Jarrett in his prime, guys like Lawler's style in his prime, I think we wouldn't be watching guys like Ricochet or any of these kids today because nobody would even care to turn on the TV. You wouldn't even have a Will Ospreay. You wouldn't have any of these guys. Why? Because you had all the guys that had the foundation of our business for so many decades would still be owning the business. But the problem is the business have shifted. All the guys that worked all them years, man, in that way that got all the business to where it was, they're gone. And there's no more to come along after them. That's the sad reality. That's why we're at where we're at, because you're getting what we got because that's all we got. Does that make sense?
It does, but I mean, you also got to think like if you just do comparisons from then, like some of them and now. Okay, you got Braun Breaker. Okay,
Who? Ron Breaker?
Braun Breaker. Okay, you
Yeah.
put him. Okay, you pick a Steiner that he's like both of them.
Yeah.
He's the Steiner brothers in one. Okay, they're not in NXT. He was unbeatable and everything. He gets in the championship match. Nothing. It's like they're too scared to pull the trigger.
Well, that's what I'm.
Who's the closest one to Kurt Angle? Probably Chad Gable.
Yeah, and that's
But
not even
honestly,
close.
like,
He's good, but he's not.
but,
He's not on
but
Angle's level.
the comparisons could be like that. But like you said, he's not the same. But they're not even going to try to push him as something like that. They put him underneath a mask. You know, like it depends on whatever. And I don't know if it's true, but it's going around that WWE's creative is AI now. AI is controlling the creative. I don't know if that's true or not, but
That's
either
why it's
way.
probably screwed up, Mike. They don't know what to do, and they're using Chat GPT.
But I mean, like you got people that could kind of be whatever. Okay, so the star power of Stone Cold, you you could do a comparison to say like Roman Reigns,
Mhm.
like with star power, but he's a part timer.
Yeah.
He's not really there. Yeah, he goes, oh, I'm gonna prove people wrong after winning the championship.
Is he?
I'm not gonna be a part timer. But he said, I'm not gonna be a part timer like up to the summertime. That's only like a couple months. You're just what are you gonna do? Be on TV until SummerSlam and then I'm back to a part timer?
He's still a part timer. They're working. Each guy gets 5
So,
shots a
but what I'm
month.
saying, so what I'm saying is, you got the people that could kind of compare to when they was really good in like being WCW and everything. And you got pieces where, hey, we could put these people in the right place to beat AEW, knock them out of the water. You got people that you don't have to be scared of TNA to do like a partnership to try to keep hold them down. In my opinion, like you got the people, use them, and then you can still be number one in wrestling. But no, you're trying to play all these politics up in wrestling and you're barely surviving against AEW, which is shame in the rating.
Mm-hmm.
You're holding back TNA because you're scared that they're gonna beat y'all and stuff because they started to get there on their own, and then they're starting to get scared again. So then they did a partnership. Like now, in my opinion, they're scared of New Japan because they're getting big and people's talking about them. And what are you gonna do? Start signing all their people.
Yeah.
You got the people that you need. Put them in the right places, and you don't need to worry about nobody else.
Right. Well, here's another way to look at this. We'll go back to his comment. He said he's not going to be part-time. That's all they have nowadays. Their schedule isn't nothing like even was 10 years ago, but you go back 20 and 30 years, these guys were going 300 days a year.
Hogan, 400 days a year.
Well, I guess if you counted double shots, yeah. So, which they had a lot of them back in the day. They'd be like 8-9 shows a week total. So he's probably right. But here's the thing. I don't think any of the guys today, any of these new ones, would not be able to take that schedule. One, because everybody's new thing, the new era is, I need a mental health day. I think most of them would crack having a schedule like that. Couldn't hold it up, number one. They'd be more concerned with playing their video games than they would hanging out with the boys down at the bar. And a lot of people will discredit that, and say that that's too much of that was going on back in the day. It's just what it was. And me personally, I'd rather live that old lifestyle than playing a video game with a bunch of boys. It's like, what are we? And I hate to say this because we're in a politically correct world, but I'll use this word instead so that everybody knows what I'm talking about. Are we a bunch of pansies? Are we going to sit here and play our video games and learn a new wrestling move maybe that looks stylish and cool for our buddies and pop the locker room? Because if you're not popping the crowd, bro, it is not even worth going out there. And that's the thing, Everybody's more worried about their video games than they are about having a relationship with their fellow colleagues, because you're on the road. Well, they're not on the road with them no more. But back in the day, you were on the road with them more than you saw your family. So it made sense. You had to have camaraderie and all that, right? Now, you'll see a bunch of them in a hotel room sitting there together, a bunch of guys in a hotel room in front of a TV with game controllers. They're 30 and 40-year-old men nowadays doing this on the road. What the hell has happened, right? Okay. Anyway, Mike, that just burns my butt. These guys want to act like they're a big star. And here's the thing. They're working less schedules and they're making more money you could even think of, shake a stick at. When back in the old days, and you know what? Power to you for getting the money for a few shots a month. But back in the old days, you had to work for your money. And if houses were down, your pay was down. Just the way it was, right? Anyway, I go on and on. But all I'm saying is you cannot compare the eras because you're going to have so much comparison that everything that happened in the 70s, 80s, and 90s in this business that built it up to where we are today, at least the 80s and 90s, there's no way these boys can hang with that eras. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Flair was known to go hour a night for like days on end in the ring, hungover. These guys can't do that. Anyway. And he'd have a perfect match. And everybody makes fun of Kerry Von Erich. They said he'd show up and he'd be out of it. But you know what? He'd go in the ring with Flair. Flair would carry him, and Flair would make Kerry Von Erich look like he was not out of it on drugs, alcohol, whatever the hell he was doing, right? So all I'm saying is the greatest of all time is the Nature Boy. And even if he says something stupid nowadays,
he does.
yeah, I don't care. Let him do it. He deserves to do whatever he wants.
No.
The red carpet everywhere he goes for this business.
No.
Yeah.
You know who the best ever?
What's that?
Okay. Maybe not the best ever, but he's in the top 5.
Okay.
The WWE Hall of Famer, the Boogie Woogie Man.
Jimmy Valiant. There you go.
So
he is one of the best of all time. Yes.
And it's sad to say that his legendary career ended.
Now
last Saturday.
Yeah, it happened in North Carolina. He had his last match.
North or South Carolina?
I think it was in Morganton. I think it was Morganton or Marion, North Carolina, because I used to go there for Stallion and them back when I broke in, back in the early 90s, guys. Yes, that long ago. But anyway, they actually, from hometown up there in Roanoke, he lives in Shawsville. Yeah. They did a piece on him in Roanoke. Logan Sherrill did. You know who he is because you live up there, and I did too. But because he's a big wrestling fan, that guy is. I didn't get to see the piece, which I might look it up later online.
Well, you can't look it up yet because it's not on.
It didn't happen yet?
Come on at 6 o'clock today on WDBJ 7.
Well, I got their app on Roku, so I may look that up.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I got WDBJ 7 on the TV. So as it comes on, I might have to take a break from the podcast. I mean, it's the Boogie Woogie Man. Come on.
Well, you said it comes on at 6. So
yeah.
We're looking at 5:44. So we may be, who knows? We don't know what we do with this. We may be longer or maybe shorter.
We might just have to pause it and do some kind of editing.
As long as I'm not going to tirade. I almost went on one, Mike. I had to stop myself.
But, no, he had a 6-person tag and everything.
The match is online. Is that correct? The whole match or just pieces?
I've just seen pieces.
Okay.
But I think they're going to have like the whole match what I heard online and everything.
May I throw something in there before you continue?
Yeah.
Jimmy Valiant now, listen, with the little stuff that he does, guys, and which is very little at this because he's in his 80s.
Well, I don't know. He was doing pretty good.
Well, what I'm saying is he gets a crowd reaction still.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. And he don't have to do a flip. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, you should have saw him Saturday, man. He was flying around that ring worse than the Young Bucks.
Mike, I'm going to go back and watch it. I know you're lying. There's no way. I love Jimmy Valiant, but he hadn't moved like that in his whole career.
Look,
he's great, though. I love Jimmy. He was one of my favorites growing up. Him and the Paul Jones. Listen, him and Paul Jones feud, right?
Yeah.
You go back and look at it in history, bro. It probably went on 3 or 4 years. Now, who today can have a feud for 3 or 4 years? No one. No one. You give me Roman Reigns and CM Punk for 4 years, I'll probably stab my eyes and my ears so I don't have to hear or see it. I'm just saying.
What about Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes?
Not a chance.
That went on for like 2.5, almost 3 years.
That don't count. It went on for like what, two WrestleManias? They did it, stopped it, and did it.
That's because Roman is a part-timer.
Well, that may be true, but I think it's because they know nowadays there's no marketability with some of these guys, and they can't have a year-long feud with nobody.
Yeah,
they're no Dusty Rhodes, they're no Paul Jones, they're no Jimmy Valiant, they're no Ric Flair, and that's the sad reality.
I think the last one was really John Cena and Randy Orton.
Did they have a long feud?
Oh yeah, they was feuding for like the longest time. Like it was on and off and everything. They took breaks here and there, but when they was into it, it was going on for the longest time.
Yeah.
But But no, the Boogie Woogie man. Let's just say he was flying around the ring like the Young Bucks. He was hitting the ropes like Rey Mysterio. Uh, that's, he was doing the the cutter just like Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm lying. But let's just say, I will say this: the parts that I've seen for 80 years old, I believe his last match was a whole lot better than Ric Flair's last match.
Who's that?
The Boogie Woogie Man. I think his match was better than Ric Flair's last
Okay.
match.
You know what? You're
Uh,
probably right though.
but the thing is, like I don't want to say it bad because I love the Boogie Woogie Man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've met him before at the Happy Flea Market. He used to go there all the time. Uh, but like he won with the sleeper hold. Okay. Like he won the match, which you kind of figure he probably would. He was that old and everything, and you're having a match like that, like the hype around this stuff, you're 95% going to win the match.
Yeah.
For your team or yourself or whatever. But the sleeper hole, did you see that part? I don't remember if I sent it to you or not.
I think I was going to go watch it, but I got busy because I was working that day.
Of course
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
That's all I do.
But he won with the sleeper hole,
Yeah.
and let's I don't know it. Let's just say the sleeper hole was way better than Gunther's that made uh, Cena and AJ Styles pass out. The Boogie Woogie Man sleeper hole was way better than Gunther's.
Okay. I want to see this now.
Yeah, you should. No, it. Somebody told me. I can't remember who, but it looked like they said the sleeper hole probably hurt because it looks like it was like two broom handles wrapped around him. Like, because his arms was like so small because he's like 80 years old.
Yeah.
But man, you could tell like if he took a bump, like if he actually took a bump,
Mm-hmm.
it probably would have probably injured him pretty bad. Like, don't get me wrong, he's 80. He don't have like the body muscle like he used to. You know, like he's a pretty small dude now. If he would have taken the bump, that probably would have hurt him pretty badly.
Mm-hmm.
So with the limitations that he has, being the age that he was and stuff, it actually turned out better than what I thought.
Oh yeah. I love Jimmy Valiant back in the Mid Atlantic days. He had the matches with Kabuki, which is Muda's father, and and then he had the Paul Jones feuds with the Assassins, and moved on. And he just kept going on. Every time you turn around, him and Paul Jones are feuding. And then they did the thing where they had Shaska, which was Pez Watley, turned on him and cut a piece of Valiant's hair off, and then did the shavings of the head that year. Finally got Paul Jones's head by Starcade that year in '86 in Greensboro. But no, for 3 or 4 years, bro, probably 4 years, them two just feuded, and people bought that and ate it up. I mean, it was like the biggest. I mean, it wasn't the main event, but it was the biggest mid-card feud you could think of, right? Jimmy Valiant, man, and down in Memphis, he was just top dog. They even bought him a house down there. Stories told, the old fable tale, I guess. And then Jimmy just takes off, leaves the house they bought him, and moves to Charlotte because he wants to be part of Mid Atlantic. So it's a crazy story. I heard Jerry Jarrett talk about it. It's really interesting. Everybody should look that up. But yeah, one of my favorites.
I do that. That was parts I saw, man. That it was just a good match.
But see, we could talk. Here's the thing, too. When you talk about Jimmy Valiant, we're talking about a guy that was phenomenally with psychology, right? But he wasn't the best crisp worker there was. I mean, if he worked a match with Flair, it wouldn't go be crisp, right?
Yeah.
Flair and Steamboat was crisp. Even Dusty and Flair wasn't crisp, but it was good. The marketability was there. It's just like John Cena. And I was listening to a podcast with Danny Davis of OVW. He was talking about the whole thing, and they sent so many guys up from OVW, and Cena was one of them that came out of Danny Davis and Jim Cornette's camp, you know? And he said Cena's footwork when he left here, he was talking about not being that good. And stuff like that. And then when Cena got up there, I don't know if you heard this, they were thinking about releasing Cena when he first went on TV and was just the prototype look or whatever. He had on the tights before he went to the rapping. And then one night they got him the rap. And that's how that took off. And Cena became a sensation, right? So my whole point here being is you can classify guys like Jimmy Valiant and Cena and guys like that maybe wasn't the top tier worker that they thought they'd be, but they were marketable and knew the business and knew how to make money from the business. And that means more at the end of the day than having a 5-star match. Because look at WrestleMania 3, Hogan and Andre, right? The biggest thing to hit sports entertainment, because that's when it started switching from just wrestling to sports entertainment, right? The biggest thing that happened was Andre and Hogan in 1987. Okay. What did every other territory have going on that could sell that? Nothing. And that match was not that great. But Andre was so over. Hogan was so over. It made all that money. So there you go. So my point being, you don't have to be the best worker in this business, but you got to understand the business. You know, you've got to understand it. So the next time anybody sits there and watches a match from, I'm trying to think of something new nowadays that they always talk about being 5 stars. Will Ospreay and Ricochet. That's the new standard of 5 stars. Well, in my era, Mike, the 5-star matches of pure talent was Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair. And Dave, what's that guy, Meltzer? Is that his name? That does the sheets. He's never gave them a 5-star match, but he gives Ospreay and Ricochet a 5-star match. Come on, bro. Are you watching the same crap I'm watching?
How many 5 stars did you get?
Referee?
I mean, you're missing. No, that's a wrestler because you're
the Wild
number
Child?
454.
Bro,
I know you had to at least get one 5-star.
I've never claimed to be a great worker.
Did you even at least get 1 star in a match?
Well, we could maybe do 1 star, yeah. But my point being, 5-star matches are great, but my point being there was Andre and Hogan would always make more money than Steamboat and Flair, even though Steamboat and Flair matches were way better. That's my point. So, and I put that up. I put their match up against anybody in any era. I'd rather watch Steamboat and Flair any day of the week, but it was also, they had their Mid-Atlantic feud in their late 70s, early 80s. And then you shift forward, they didn't meet each other again until after Steamboat came back from WWF, right? And Turner had took over the promotion. So I think what happened with Steamboat and Flair, the reason it wasn't as marketable by 89 is they were a little too late getting it there. I believe if Steamboat was still around in the heyday of Jim Crockett Promotions in 1986 and 87 and 85, all them years, Steamboat would have been around and had a feud with Flair then for the NWA World title. I think it would have made a lot more money. I think it was just too late because them two together are like gold. You can't beat it. Best matches ever, Steamboat and Flair. Also, Ronnie Garvin doesn't get his just due. He's one of the shortest reign NWA champions of all time. Other than Tommy Rich, he had it 2 days in 1981. But Ronnie Garvin is like what a pro wrestler should be, But him and Flair had solid matches too. They just beat the living crap out of each other. Their chests would be busted open. Surgery would have to get done. But them 2 matches were better than anything. They're my 2 favorite Flair competitors, Ronnie Garvin and Ricky Steamboat. 5-star matches all night long. Dave Meltzer don't know what he's talking about. That's all I'm gonna say.
Now, okay, so you didn't get no 5-star matches, no 4 stars, no 3 stars, 2 stars, no 1 star. You barely maybe got a quarter of a star.
Bro, I never
Did
worked
did
off-ended
you
shows
ever
in Carolina.
win? Did you ever win any type of championships?
Not even when I ran the shows. No. Yeah.
So how can number 454 not even win one championship?
474. You got my number
Well,
too. Thank you for giving me 20
I,
numbers up, but
well, either way, you're in the top 500.
yeah, 1997. And
And you still,
my good friend, rest in peace. He was a correspondent for the magazine, Danny Paris. Good dude, Danny Paris from Carolinas. He sent my name off that year. He sent my name with the Hardy Boys from Omega, right? The Hardy Boys, Champagne, which is Marty Garner. Jason Art was Venom. He sent all our names in, and my name got in it. But that goes to show you, though, I'm going to say it, it's a work, bro. Because if I hit 474 out of the top 500 PWI, right?
so you're saying that they was playing the trick on you.
It's not a trick. It's just the business. Everybody knows the business is a work, right, nowadays. So every award
Is it?
is a worked award. Yeah.
So what you're saying is Danhausen can be number 1 year.
If they choose that, yes.
I can see that.
But then again, when they pick the number ones, at least the top 10 and most 500s they do make sense. It's everybody after 50, bro. You just start wondering to yourself, they just start putting names in an order, right? I don't know. I don't know how
I don't believe that list one bit because 1 year David Arquette or Vince Russo should have been number 1.
Were they even in the 500 that year?
I don't know. But either way,
research that.
They should have been number 1. If not, it's a crying shame because they deserved it.
Yeah.
So
they need to go in the Hall of Fame, like you said, right?
Yeah.
With Chris Benoit, the same year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same year. I mean, got to.
Yeah. So Jimmy Valiant was actually, like the first year the WWF did their Hall of Fame, he was put in it.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s. Yeah. I remember seeing that. It was like 95 or 96. Not sure the timeline there, but it was mid 90s. And that's about the time I actually got to work with Jimmy for the first time. But is that on the news yet? I know you got TV on there.
No, but I forgot it's on the. It's like the app on the Roku channel thing.
Yeah.
And I can pause it, so we can keep on for a little bit. I can pause it. It's just gonna be live.
So let's see here. So we talked about how. What were we talking about before we jumped ship to that? We talked about tag teams, and we got on Jimmy Valiant, his last match. Yeah. And then I got on a tirade about 5-star matches and all that. Okay, I see where we're at. So if we look at the back to the 80s, Steamboat and Flair, Ronnie Garvin and Flair were some of the best matches that were going on in the 80s, right? You could put Dusty and Flair in there. Because it was a big feud and they were making money. Tully and Dusty was really big. But you got to think about the eras later, right? And you can compare guys that are great, like AJ Styles. Now, since he went in the Hall of Fame and that's still fresh in everybody's mind, I want to know, in your honest opinion, since we're talking about greats in this business, he's up there with the Flairs and Steamboats, right? In my opinion, I put AJ up there. who was AJ's greatest opponent? That's what I want to know. That if we could leave off on that tonight, I'd be happy. I want to know your opinion on who AJ Styles' best opponent was over his whole career. TNA, WWE, at all, baby.
Man, it's kind of hard. In WWE, he didn't really have like that one feud to kind of stand out. Like he had great matches with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't really have like that one feud. The only feud that pops into my head in WWE was when James Ellsworth beat him 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that's the only. Like he had good matches. He had a good feud with John Cena
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, but I mean, it comes down back to his TNA days, and you it could be an argument about Christopher Daniels,
Mm-hmm.
but it could be an argument with Kurt Angle there for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. What
Uh,
about Samoa
but uh,
Joe?
but that's probably I was getting ready to mention that one. That's probably the one that probably stands out the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably Samoa Joe.
Did he have
Uh,
more matches with Joe? No, I can't remember. Did he have more matches with Joe than anybody? Or who did he
I
have
think
a
so.
good feud there with? Was it Joe or was it?
I think it was. Now Christopher Daniels' shoe wasn't really until was it like 08, 09? Like that's when they had like a really good feud. I think they was mostly a tag team there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but with Joe, you gotta think they had that really good even with Christopher Daniels for the X Division, the triple threat match
Mm-hmm.
that kind of puts them on the map. In my opinion, the X Division really did put TNA on the map,
Mm-hmm.
and that match was the one I think probably put it like on the map. Not the
And
second one. I think the first one. That's
yeah,
what I'm thinking about. That pay per view that
yeah,
they all talk about. That's the one. The second one that they when they redid it was really good, like really really good. But it's just like everything. The second time it's just not as good as the first one. The first one was just magic, you know.
yeah. Now let me ask you this: do you being putting stuff on the map? And this is my honest opinion about this too. Up until that point, the pro wrestling business really didn't have a real women's division. I think the knockouts division in TNA put it where the ladies actually had a main roster spot on WWE, TNA, and so forth. I think that hit, and it made WWE pick up their ball and run with it too. I really believe that because prior to that, you had all women leagues like WoW and Glow,
Yeah.
and and they'd appear on WWF TV and NWA TV, but they never really had their own spot. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole
Yeah.
division. And I think the Knockouts division in TNA was revolutionary for that. I
Yeah.
honestly believe that. Since we're talking about
Yeah. They
revolutionary things.
like of course WWF women's division was good for like Mae Young and all that.
Yep.
And they had don't get me wrong, they had Trish and Lita and all that later on. But it wasn't really like wrestling, you know?
Yep.
It's more sexy than anything.
Yep.
Yes, TNA knockouts, they were sexy, doing stuff like that,
Mhm.
but they was more wrestling. They was more like sexy come to the ring and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like, oh, I I pop in whatever. But they was really like wrestling wise, I agree. Because you gotta think like Gail Kim. like WWE failed on Gail Kim. Like she won championships over there,
Mm-hmm.
but when she went to TNA, man, you can really see how WWE dropped the ball like on the women's division too.
Right.
Uh, but then you had like Tara coming over, Victoria. When, she was, you could tell they dropped the ball on her. But then you had the beautiful people, uh, Awesome Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when she went to WWE, they failed that too. You know, like how can you drop a talent like Awesome Kong
Yep.
like WWE did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know she got released or she left WWE because she got pregnant or something
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But they dropped the ball like what, like a whole year before all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but like I said, you had the beautiful people, Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, Madison Rain when she came in, uh, like like I said, Gail Kim, Mickey James. Believe it or not, I liked her better in WWE than I did in uh, TNA. Honestly, um, I don't know why. I think she was a better fit for WWE. But
Yeah.
then you also got to thank the soon to be TNA Hall of Famer ODB. Like she, like just how she was, you know. So
But what's so
hey,
bad is, years before, WWF did they'd have the Jumping Bomb Angels. I think they were in the late '80s. They worked the Glamour Girls, and you had Sherry Martel working like Rockin' Robin. And they had a little bit of it going around, and they were doing it. But the NWA didn't late '80s.
yeah,
They didn't have it. And if they did, it was every now and then they'd find like Misty Blue and Cat LaRue. They would work each other, and a couple others I can't think of their name, and put on there every now and then. But and then the mid '90s, you had Alundra Blaze, which was Medusa, and she'd worked. I can't think of that girl's name uh, from Japan, but they had really good matches, man. And well, all I'm saying is to have the Maroon division in a major American company. It didn't really happen till TNA, in my opinion. TNA was the front runner and made all this happen today. So every woman in this business that's even in WWE needs to thank TNA for stepping up the game for the industry to cause that, because you wouldn't be seeing it today, in my opinion. TNA had a bunch of good women athletes. They put it together. They made it work. And that's what we got. They let them go in there for the athletic abilities other than just showing a little tail and stuff, right? I'm not saying the girls weren't doing that still, because you got to dress in them outfits. And a lot of them are very attractive young women. But no, TNA took it where they could showcase their abilities as athletes. And that's where we are today. And they're to be thanked for that.
yeah.
So anybody that's got a job with WWE even or AEW, TNA, the new TNA, thank the TNA of the early 2000s, because that's why you are there. Give them their flowers, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett and everybody involved that caused that made it happen. So with
But
that, man, we got
hold
anything
on.
else to throw for that?
Yeah. Well, so we're talking about ODB going into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Then we talk about the Hall of Famer, the Boogie Woogie Man. We talked about Chris Benoit, David Arquette, and Vince Russo should go into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
But one thing that should go into the Hall of Fame,
What's that?
and I ain't even talking about the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm just talking about a Hall of Fame in general, and that is our great, wonderful sponsors, Cowboy Revolution. I
That's
mean,
right.
they are a great sponsor. They need to go into some kind of apparel Hall of Fame, in my opinion. But CowboyRevolution.com, use the promo code JamieT123 at checkout for 15% off.
That's
They
right.
got shirts, hats, tumblers, stickers, phone cases if you got an iPhone. They got bags. Uh, they got a lot of good stuff. If you got a kid that likes posters and stuff, we got wrestling posters behind us, but they got Cowboy Revolution posters there too for you can put them up in a kid's room.
That's right. And
Uh,
it's at cowboyrevolution.com, guys. Go check it
like I
out.
said, they really need to go to a apparel hall of fame, in my opinion.
All right, that's a good point. Also, what's another good point? We like people to send in their questions. I haven't had any questions recently, unless you're in my junk mail. I really don't check my emails too much. But if they are there, I apologize. But let's get that back up there again. It's wrestleref123@gmail.com. And I'd like to do an all question show again in the future. Still working on that
Yeah.
NWA guest I was telling you about. Got to make the time for it. Not because of me. Got to make sure his schedule is available. And we'll have him on and we'll get our stuff together, guys, because I know this guy very well. Mike wouldn't, but we're going to ask him the questions and probably bring up old stories that I know about him because I used to go up and down the road with this guy. Good guy, though. I'll just say he's one of the guys that gave me a start in the business. That's all I'm going to leave it at. No more guesses. No, and you probably already know people if you listen to the podcast since day one. So that's something to look forward to. And yeah, man, I think this week, I'll be honest, everybody. We hit the gates coming out. We were like, hey, we got to get a podcast out, and we're going to talk about some wrestling. And we talked about a lot of wrestling, but I will be very honest. A lot of today's podcast was not put together. But I'll tell you, I love talking about wrestling, so it comes very easy. So It don't matter. And we hit some good topics today, the releases, and then we talked about the greatest of all time, the Nature Boy, and another great one, Ronnie Garvin, Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes. My goodness, Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant just retired for real this time, guys. This is for real this time, I hear.
This ain't a Ric Flair retirement.
So,
this is a real retirement.
that's right. So go check that out.
Don't forget, we talked about the Steiners.
Yeah.
And the greatest tag team, the
Speaking
Good Brothers.
That's the greatest tag team, Steiner Brothers.
And the Good Brothers. The second best tag team, Jesse and Festus.
Okay.
Then the third, the Steiners.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Or distant third.
Okay.
They're kind of tied with beer money.
What about I was going to tell everyone tomorrow, speaking of Jimmy Valiant and WDBJ7 news that he's on, tomorrow in the town of Roanoke, where the news station is, that we're talking about, at the Civic Center, which I know it as, but the Berglund Center now, for some kind of taco Mexican festival for Cinco de Mayo. Pure Pro Wrestling has 2 shows there, Mike. Yeah. And it's something for people to go check out. If you go to the festivities of, I don't know if there's a cost to get into that event, but if you get into it, I believe the wrestling's totally free. So you can't beat that. They're part of the attractions for this, guys. So if you're in the area or close to the area, go check it out. And I believe the next weekend they're going to be in Rocky Mount at the YMCA again, I believe, May 9th. So Pure Pro Wrestling.
May 9th they're going to be in Montville, Virginia.
Maybe it's the next weekend. I get my dates a little confused.
Yeah, you're getting them a little mixed up. Yeah. But I know one thing for sure.
What's that?
Our good friend. I just threw my glasses off for this one. I don't know where they went. They're somewhere on the other side of the room. I think our good friend, the Yellow Man, should challenge Jimmy Love for the Pure Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
I think we need to put that out there. We need to let the people voices be heard.
Yeah.
The Yellow Man for the championship, because Jimmy Love, Tater Tot, needs to get on out and bring the Yellow Man in.
There you go. I agree. And speaking of
the Yellow Man's going to shake that room.
Yeah, shake it. Speaking of wrestling, but not in the state of Virginia now, moving down south to Florida, I'll be appearing next Friday night back in Winter Haven, which I've been there already this year a few times, for Florida Pro Wrestling. Fine outfit. They're also affiliated with cage fighting, UFC style as well. They do events such as that. So I'm looking forward to being back for Florida Pro Wrestling, working with some really good athletes, man. A lot of these guys will probably be somewhere one day if they keep it up. Nothing's for sure, but they got the talent for sure. And Billy Silverman will be there again, calling the action with me. Two WCW officials from the past together again. And the Triple Crown NWA champion, the Tokyo Monster Cahagas, will be in action. So you're looking at an all-star card. So be there in Winter Haven at Tanner's Lakeside next Friday, May 8th at a 8 p.m. bell time. So look forward to that, guys. You got anything else to throw out there before we head out?
And you just say Billy's going to be there, right?
Yes.
Thank goodness to be one good ref there.
Thank you much, Mike. Good way to leave the podcast today.
Honestly, if I had to pick like a top 5 of referees that I like, you would honestly not be in the top 5. Like, I think I could probably name,
oh my God,
maybe 30 referees. I might not know their names, but I can be like, hey,
would I be in the top 30 at least?
Hold on, I'm getting to a point here.
I hope
like
so.
Japan had red shoes, whatever his real name was.
Yeah,
he just wore red shoes all the time. You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
You got you got Billy, Charles. You got the new women referees. So I could probably name about 30 different ones. And I will say, you're probably close to 100.
That hurts, Mike. For us to be buds and sharing this podcast and coming back each and every week, and that just hurts, bro.
Well, I also was just joking because I did say you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I appreciate that, and I hope it's sincere.
We'll talk about that off the camera.
Ah, there we go. I knew Mike's always. Guys, if you knew Mike like I do, this is him all the time, full throttle. So, yeah.
No, you really do. You deserve to be in some kind of Hall of Fame.
Well, I
at least for the Wild Child.
That is not true. The refereeing, yes. All right. Hey.
Do you even have a picture? We want to see a picture of you as the Wild Child.
We'll see if we can get it on here, one of the episodes. Yeah.
If we can't get it on here, we need to try to get it on our Facebook, Instagram, and which is Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures on Facebook and Instagram. I know us and the team's been a little slow responding to that stuff, but we had a meeting with the team, and we, as the team, agreed that we was going to do better at this because we are here for y'all, the fans, and we want to make it better. We just want to grow this community that we got, and we're going to do better. And we're just going to, hopefully, y'all can share the pages, and we are going to get better. With our busy schedules, it took a little bit to get going on a few things, but I think we're doing pretty good right now. We got some hopefully big plans in the future.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have some more old school wrestling talk coming down the line here soon as well. Some big news about that, and we'll get more into that when that happens. Big news, big news. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the guests I'm working on, and I'm just excited to come back each and every week. So, Mike,
I know we talked about it. We was going to talk about it this time we didn't really hit on it too much. But I'm actually excited, and I'm gonna hold James to it. We
Yeah.
are going to talk about Omega next week.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do
'Cause I
Omega.
do want to.
Yeah.
I do want to like dive into it a little bit because I know me and you talked about it a little bit,
Yep.
like on here and stuff, but we never really dive too deep into it. Just me and you on here.
Yeah.
So I do want to try to do that because you and Julia talked about it before,
Yeah.
and it was a great podcast. I listened to it actually a couple of weeks ago again, but it'd be somebody different asking questions and stuff, getting a little bit more out of you. So I think it's going to be a really good episode.
Yeah, that and that. I'd be open to try to find a guest from the Omega days to come on. It doesn't matter who it is because I'm telling you, maybe we can find someone that I haven't talked to in years from them Omega days and let them give their perspective on Omega. Or maybe Thomas Simpson, one of the founders, or who knows. We're going to work on that too. We got to work on a guest from there as well and talk about it. But yeah, next week we'll touch a lot on that topic and we'll go full in depth, guys. So stay tuned to our Instagram and Facebook page though, because that's where you're here when the next podcast is. Uh, Unfortunately, days, weeks, sometimes they're going to be different days right now, just for the mere fact of our personal lives outside of here sometimes get in the way of our professional life. And this is part of our professional life, of course. I'm also working on another project I'll be talking about very soon on here as well. And we're going to hit that full throttle, and it's going to be a lot of exciting news. So let's talk about Omega next time. Let's try to get an Omega guest on here, and let's get one of my former guys that brought me into business on here and talk one week. NWA superstar, NWA guy, and we're going to have a good time, man. So I'm looking forward to the next few weeks. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
So go to the Facebook page, like and share. Go to the Instagram page, do the same thing. And go to the YouTube channel, like it, subscribe. Leave comments on the YouTube page if you want to. Leave questions on the YouTube page. Just let us know what you think. Good, bad, what your questions are. I'm looking forward to all that. You got anything else for us before we jump off this thing and you get to the Boogie Woogie Man jam over there?
No, I mean, yeah, I got to pause and everything. So, like I said, I do like the Boogie Woogie Man. I think, like growing up, just watching like his stuff, like the older stuff and everything. Like I did like the Boogie Woogie Man, and watched him, like met him at like Happy's and stuff.
Yep.
But he was one that he was kind of out of the light a little bit, so you kind of forgot about him.
Yeah.
You know. But it's really sad to say just how good he was. But then, like, I found one of his matches again. And the Yellow Man talked about his school. I actually know somebody that trained at his school and stuff. Uh, I knew that about 8, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So about that time, I was like, got back into seeing the Boogie Woogie Man, just seeing how good he was in the ring, and just how he really had the crowd in the palm of his hand.
Yeah.
And if you go on like YouTube and stuff and watch his last match, he has the crowd in the palm of his hand again.
Yeah.
After all these years. So not too many people does, you know. I know legends can come out and get it. Dusty had like that reaction. Flair and Hogan, after a while being on TV so long, they kind of lost it there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But no matter what, the Boogie Woogie Man always had the crowd in the palm of his hand. So, like I said, I'm excited to see this on WDBJ7. If it pops up on the internet, we're going to post like the clip of it on our Facebook page. That way y'all can see it too if y'all ain't up in the area and stuff.
Yep.
So we're going to, like I said, we're going to do more on the Facebook and Instagram stuff. So I'm excited for this stuff.
Absolutely. It's always been fun to come on here and talk about pro wrestling, and sometimes go off subject and talk about something totally different as well. You know,
I
but
mean, we didn't go off topic too much today.
no, we stayed on subjects pretty good.
I mean, we didn't even talk about how I think TKO is in charge of gas prices now. As much
Okay.
they're going up, you know.
That could be true.
Oh, but real quick, let's talk about something real quick. I know I sent you the thing.
Hmm.
What is wrong with Bedford counties now? Like, so now I know I sent it to you on
What was it?
like message.
Maybe I'll remember if you tell me.
It's not even wrestling. It's not wrestling related. It's
Yeah.
just me talking crap about Bedford County because why not? Why? Why do they have police officers at the dump watching people, then checking their IDs to
Mhm.
make sure they live in Bedford County to throw trash away? And
Mm.
if they don't live in Bedford County,
Is a fine.
I think it's like a $250 fine.
Yeah. It's all about the fines and the money. That's all it is.
Look, they're all at the stupid dump now. So now you're gonna get people throwing trash on the side of the road. And so, look, I live
Yep.
in Bedford County. I don't care. Throw your trash away in the dump.
Yeah.
It's America. It's a dumpster. Throw it in the dumpster. You know,
But
you got a fire ban. You can't burn your trash outside because it's been dry and everything.
well, the county and the state of Virginia are getting all that money if they catch someone. So yeah.
Well, can they really check your ID if you haven't broken law?
Do you live in Bedford County?
Yeah,
Do you have an ID that says that?
yeah.
What are you worried about? Just saying.
No, what I'm saying is, so like other people, okay. So you lived in Roanoke, okay?
Yeah. Roanoke City,
So,
to be exact.
okay, it doesn't
Not
matter.
the county.
It doesn't matter. Roanoke is different than Bedford, okay?
Yeah.
So what happens if you, like, I got sick and I can't get out, okay? You living in Roanoke, come here and then, do you need anything? I just need you to take my trash off.
Mhm.
Where are you going to take it to? It's my trash. I live in Bedford County. If I can't get out, you can't take it out for me.
Hmm. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good
Like,
question. I guess somebody's
so,
paying a fine.
I mean, it's stupid. Why? Like, gas prices are going up. Now, fines are going up because you don't have nowhere to throw your stupid trash away.
Yeah.
TKO's just taking over the world.
They probably took over Bedford County.
With the prices on stuff, I believe it.
Yeah.
But what's the highest priced gas in Florida right now?
It's for something. I couldn't tell you exact amount, but it's for something.
Over the Circle K in Roanoke, I heard it was $4.49
Mm-hmm.
and everything. Ridiculous. Why?
Yeah. We go to
Like,
California. It's probably $10 a gallon.
well, I can't say too much because people listen to it on the podcast from work, and no matter if I'm joking or not, they're gonna say something. But it'd be cheaper to call in to work than you wasting gas. I know somebody's on here. They're gonna snitch, but oh, Mike said this, whatever. Well, guess what? I don't care what y'all say.
Are you planning on calling in?
No,
Oh, well, what are you what are you worried about?
no. I got people saying, "Hey, Mike called in. He planned it." Guess what? I don't talk to you like that. You don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
If you knew what I was thinking, get out of my face.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Same thing.
But no, it's yeah, where you used to work at and stuff. A lot of high school drama crap.
Yeah.
Uh, it ain't getting no better. Uh, like people like to snitch on stuff, don't mind their own business. Uh, I know that's everywhere, But you know how I can fix that?
Oh,
You see this? Put my earpiece in, and I listen to the world's greatest podcast, Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures.
and if you didn't
And
listen to
you
ours,
can,
what's your second choice?
okay, well, that probably was the second choice. The first one is the Good Brothers.
Oh, so we're second. Okay, but
No,
but in your
I'm
defense,
not
you
gonna
do
lie to
talk
you.
on here. So
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, like we talk on here. I know what we're saying.
yeah, me too.
Like a lot of people don't like the Good Brothers. They said they don't listen to their podcast after they do it.
I
They
don't
listen to
listen to
other
all of
stuff.
ours. I don't.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like we know what we're saying. We know before it even drops. Which,
Yeah,
by the way, we are probably the best podcast out there.
there you go.
Just
Says
just
it
throwing
all.
that out there. If there's a podcast Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famers right here.
I agree.
But
The golden one, the
no, like
mayor, podcast journalist, and Mr. 2020, former referee, WCW and TNA. So
I mean, no, it's how everything is now. I just honestly put my earpiece in and try to mind my own business because you say one thing and people turn like to twist it and turn it and yeah.
yeah. Well, I got 2 words for them. They can suck it because I can say whatever I want up there about them. So
Well,
with that said,
I
you got
can
anything
say a
else?
bunch of stuff.
Well,
I
you
can say
don't
a
want to.
bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Wait till I work with them. I'll probably just say to their face.
Well, guys, remember before we head out, go to cowboyrevolution.com. Check out all the great merch and everything they got to offer over there. I'll put that up on the screen for you real quick. At checkout, guys, you're going to go put in Jamie T123 for 15% off, and that's a great deal. And it goes to support the veterans. On top of that, we also want to remind you, we already told you about the Facebook page and the Instagram page, didn't we? Yes, we did. Now you can send your questions and comments to the email on the screen, wrestleref123@gmail.com. And you also can leave comments on the Facebook page itself or to the messenger for the Facebook page. So you got very many options there, guys. Or YouTube. Leave a message under the video. Hey, we think this video is great. Hey, we didn't like it. Whatever you want to say is allowed.
They can leave comments on the podcast, like on Podbean and stuff too. Can't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I had a couple in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Podbean,
So we can.
Spotify, all of them. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not gonna say exactly where I work at because if y'all listen to it, like our good buddy, I can't remember your name, my bad. That listened to this since day one. If y'all should know where I work at about now.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say it where. But if y'all just happen to see the golden one out in public and everything, y'all want to say hi? Say hi. I don't care. If you don't want to say hi, I just think you're Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous, and then I just keep walking.
That's right.
But yeah, y'all see me? Say hi. I don't care. So,
See, not Mike is a nice guy after all, guys. See.
okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I tell you what,
Good.
I believe we hit some great stuff this week. I'm looking forward to the next one, and I know we got some stuff to do tonight. You got stuff to do with your wife. I got stuff to do with my wife. Life continues. But guys, we look forward to next week. So send your questions in, comments, and all that good stuff on all the platforms. We are going to be on the social media feeds this weekend, posting stuff. So look forward to reading that as well. So with that being said, on this wonderful Friday, and yes, it will be posted tonight on Friday. Just want to let everyone know we appreciate each.
He said that last week. Yeah, he posted a couple days later.
It got posted on Friday, but it was done on Tuesday.
I listened to it, and you said something about today's Tuesday.
Yeah, and you're like,
and I was like, no, my week is over with. I'm not going back to Tuesday.
We did it Friday. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, this could be a Friday from last week. Y'all don't know. It's just a Friday.
You don't know. It could have been Friday from 2 months ago. No, we
Yeah.
talked about Mania. They know better than that.
Okay, well, they
We
don't
talked
know
about
it's
the
May
releases.
1st. They
Okay.
don't know it's May 1st, though.
That's right. Hey, we know what goes on before it happens. That's exactly what happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This happened 2 weeks before Mania, everyone.
You got that right.
Do you believe us? I don't know. I don't care.
I should see into the future. And Kristen Wild and Vince Russo is going into the Hall of Fame next year.
They are. I'm sending the email to the WWE.
Headliners.
Yep.
They're going to be headliners, and John Cena's going to be the background to them.
Probably the other way around, but
Why?
Anyway.
There's all right, real quick. I know we don't have a lot of time. Okay. I've heard a little debate. Who do you think is the best of this generation? Okay. Between John Cena, 17-time world champion, or Randy Orton, 14-time world champion. Which one do you think is the better?
for his whole body of work, for his whole career, I'm going to edge with Cena.
Okay.
Yep.
Personally,
I'm a big Orton fan, though, but I just think the body of work he gave the industry, and how, he was the top face the whole time. Because his heel run last year, I don't count because it's so stupid that, Cena was he was the top dog in the main face of the company like Hogan was. So, yeah, I say Cena.
Get out of here. No, honestly, I would have to say Randy. Yes, Cena's got some more championships and stuff like that. And he deserves it and stuff like that. But if you actually look at their careers and the matches and stuff, I personally believe that Randy Orton was better than John Cena. I mean, it's a good argument to have.
Well, yeah.
Now, if Randy did not get in trouble all that time for drugs and stuff, and got suspended at the beginning part of his career, do you think the roles would have been different? You think Randy would have been their more focused to Cena? Because Cena kind of got lucky with the rap that you talked about and stuff. If not, he would have been gone a long time ago. Randy should have been released with everything that happened.
Yeah.
But with his family's name, he stayed and stuff. But he kind of got like a little bit like a punishment or whatever. Kind of got held back there a little bit. But I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Like they're both Grand Slam champions.
Mm-hmm.
They both won everything that you could win. Cena won 17 world titles, but Randy is also the youngest world heavyweight champion in history.
Yeah.
So you can say this to that. Entertainment wise, like fifth stage sport entertainment, probably John Cena. But if you look at it as a wrestling point of view, I think Randy Orton has it all the way.
Okay. I mean, it's a fair assessment.
I mean, he looks more like a wrestler. He has better movesets as a wrestler. Cena has, like 5 to 7 moves that he does every match. Randy could pull out different moves and stuff. Like JBL said, if you're going to build a professional wrestler from the ground up, it would be Randy Orton.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier about Steamboat and Garvin being so great, but at times they wasn't as over as other guys that were not as good as a worker, right? So same thing.
I mean, it's hard to say because Randy can be a face or a heel no matter what.
Yeah.
Cena, I mean, really, there for a while, everybody was like booing him, didn't want to be around because he stayed a face so long, and that's pretty much where Cody Rhodes is heading. I think they're
Yeah.
starting to boo him some. He's almost getting like John Cena treatment
Yeah.
and stuff. So
You're right. Well, good point there. And but I'll still go with Cena regardless. Sorry. Um anyway, we'll leave on that note this week.
let's leave on it.
And we'll be back. And let me know how the Jimmy Valiant news piece goes in case I don't get to see it. Or if you can get a link to it, send it to me. I look forward to seeing that. But guys, we appreciate you each and every week. Thank you for listening or watching again. And listen to us on all the platforms or watch us on YouTube. All of it's there on the bottom of the screen. If you don't know where they are, it's Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Podbean, and Pandora are the listing. And then YouTube is where you can watch it. So until next time, on the next adventure. Adios.
Bye, everybody.
Mr. 2020 and the golden one dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here.